So I've learned yesterday that Russia has once again struck a civilian target. Not surprising. That at this point, I am not surprised in the slightest. A civilian train, a passenger train, was hit by Russian drones. 3 of them apparently. There were 291 passengers on board. Some of them were hurt. And I wasn't really planning talking about this. There's a very inherent hypocrisy in the fact that Vladimir Putin has been invited to a peace group, it actually has a name. This peace group has a name. What's it called? Putin has been invited by Trump to be a member, and he accepted. Okay? He has accepted the nomination and is now part of the peace board. That's the name, the peace board. So there's this very interesting hypocrisy about the fact that Putin, a member of a Trump-made peace board, is very busy bombing civilian infrastructure, attacking passenger trains with drones. And that alone would not be enough for me to make a whole stream segment about it. But what this made me decide to do it was that apparently there's a strong possibility that the attack might have been guided using Elon Musk's Starlink, which puts a whole other disgusting element on the whole thing. The fact that Elon Musk talks a big game about wanting to make the world a better place, how his technology will solve all problems. Soon enough, nobody will ever need a job. We will all receive a huge, tasty income, and AI and robots will just do everything for us. Everything will be wonderful. The world will be fixed. Elon Musk is going to fix the world. Meanwhile, in the real world, Elon Musk's technology is actively being used to, allegedly. It has not been 100% proven, but if it's true, then Elon Musk's technology is being actively used to attack civilian infrastructure and vehicles. In this case, a train. As Ukraine accuses Russia of terrorism with deadly strike on train, is Starlink helping Moscow target civilians? And as much as this is unconfirmed, as much as there's no 100% definitive evidence of Starlink being used for attacking this train, there's also a precedent of the Russian forces using smuggled Starlink systems in order to gain more visibility, for information gathered. The Russian forces have been using Starlink. So this would not be a surprise at all if it would turn out to be true. The question is, what is Elon Musk going to do about it? Especially since Elon Musk has gotten into a bit of a scuffle with the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs, Radosław Sikorski, over this very topic, over the topic of Starlinks being used for attacking of civilian infrastructure. We're going to get into that as well, but first let's get into the details of this and learn what we know of the possible use of Starlink. Satellites. Okay, all right. Kyiv. A Russian drone hit a Ukrainian passenger train traveling in Ukraine's eastern Kharkiv region Tuesday, killing at least 5 people. So we already know there are victims to this. According to the Kharkiv Regional Prosecutor's Office, in any country, a drone strike on a civilian train would be regarded in the same way, purely as an act of terrorism, President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a social media post, which interestingly enough is this has been a very underreported topic, this whole attack on the train. I guess the world has gotten so used to Russia attacking civilian infrastructure that it just doesn't think that it's notable enough to talk about. And this is especially a big problem right now as Vladimir Putin, and I have said it a few times already, is now a member of a peace board, a board of countries that are working towards peace, as created by Donald Trump. So are you really surprised that almost no European countries joined this peace board, that Ukraine very adamantly refused to join it, refused to be on the same board as Vladimir Putin when he is a founding member of a peace organization while actively killing civilians in Ukraine and waging war against it? This feels like a parody. This feels like some alternative reality, or at least an Onion article. Peace board member bombs passenger train. Imagine seeing that kind of a headline. Peace board member bombs passenger train. Like this feels like a satire to me. But it's not. It's not satire. It's reality. It's reality that is also actively being actually created by Donald Trump. This reality where nothing really actually matters. It doesn't matter if you're a war criminal. You're going to be invited to a peace board. Yeah? Okay? You're trying to genocide a nation actively. You're bombing the cities. You're bombing the trains. No problem. If you pay $1 billion, you can be a member of a peace board. You also can be a messenger of peace, a harbinger of peace. Actually, if you really think about it, if you really squint your eyes, then maybe actually it's Ukraine that is at fault for this war. Russia actually wants peace. Don't worry about it. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Kuleba said in a social media post that according to preliminary information, the attack involved 3 Iranian-made Shahed attack drones, which hit the engine and 1 passenger car, causing a fire. Which, again, I hate to be that person, but considering the Trump administration policy regarding this war, I can say now that Russia is using Iranian drones, parts from China and Europe, missiles and artillery from North Korea, and soldiers from North Korea, and now Starlink from the United States. Brilliant. Russia is really being very supported in this war, sadly. Like, there were 291 passengers on board. People were evacuated as quickly as possible, he said, echoing Zelensky in calling the strike a direct act of Russian terror against civilians. No military target. Also, from what I understand, it was not just a single drone. It was 3 drones. So it was not a mistake. It was not just a drone running out of fuel that was directed at any target. It was a deliberate strike, as far as I understand. Russia's government routinely denies targeting civilian infrastructure, but there was no specific reaction from the Kremlin or Russian military to the allegation that it had deliberately struck a train carrying civilians. Which, by the way, this is not the first time that Russia has hit a civilian train during this war. This has happened before. Russia using Starlink to deadly effect. Oh, this is the part that actually made me want to talk about this on stream. Strikes on Ukrainian civilians and critical infrastructure have intensified in recent months, and experts say Russia has adapted its offensive capabilities to evade Ukraine's air defenses. Last year, the Ukraine Air War Monitor Journal noted an 18% decline in Ukraine's drone interception rate. Alexei Balesta, Deputy Minister for Development of Communities and Territories of Ukraine, told CBS News on Wednesday that Russia has been using larger drones in higher quantities, which is increasing the lethality of its strikes. But according to a recent report from the Washington, D.C.-based Institute for the Study of War, another reason for Russia's deadlier strikes is its use of Starlink satellite systems to more accurately hit targets. So, the United States is just not an ally of Russia because of Trump not willing to pressure Russia when it comes to negotiations. Now it just receives support from Elon Musk, allegedly, right? This week, Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski raised the issue with Elon Musk, whose company SpaceX owns and operates the Starlink satellite network. In a post on Musk's platform, Sikorski asked the American businessman to stop the Russians from using Starlink to target Ukrainian cities. And I want to show you the original tweet, okay? I want to show you the actual tweet because this is interesting. Very interesting indeed. Radosław Sikorski, hey big man, at Elon Musk. Why don't you stop the Russians from using Starlinks to target Ukrainian cities? Making money on war crimes may damage your brand. And Elon Musk replies, this drooling imbecile does not even realize that Starlink is the backbone of Ukraine military communications, which does not address what the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs has said at all. Does it matter if Russians use Starlink, if Ukraine uses it as well? Does it matter if I make money on Russians using Starlink, if it's the backbone of Ukraine military communications? What kind of a response is that? But, you know, who cares? Business is business. Business is business, and capitalism forever, I guess, right? Capitalism reigns supreme forever. So on X, Musk called Sikorski a drooling imbecile and said that Starlink's terms of service do not allow for offensive military use, as it is a civilian commercial system. Musk also highlighted Ukraine's use of the Starlink system for military communications. Two Ukrainian defense analysts have said the train may have been hit by Shaheeds, a favorite weapon of Russia amid its ongoing full-scale invasion equipped with SpaceX technology. Russia has started using Starlink on other drones, and now is using it on Shaheeds as well. Analyst Olena Kryzanivska told CBS News on Wednesday, the attack yesterday was not surprising at all. It was expected. Serhiy Beskertsnov, a Ukrainian military analyst and expert on drone warfare, said in a social media post Wednesday that the moving train was hit by Shaheeds with online control, which would point to Starlink, because they have been smuggled. Okay, they have not been used offensively with the blessing of Elon Musk. But it doesn't change the fact that Elon Musk is not effectively doing anything about it. Russia's taking the drones, Russia's taking the Starlink system from Elon Musk, and Musk is not doing anything to stop it. It was not the locomotive, but the center of the train, but Beskertsnov noted in his post, accusing the Russian drone's pilot of attacking a passenger car intentionally and consciously, and specifically questioning whether Starlink may have been used. SpaceX did not respond to a request for comment by CBS News on the claims that its Starlink technology may have been used in the drone strike on the train and by Russian forces more widely to target civilian infrastructure in Ukraine. Kryzanivska said trains make easy targets for precision-guided Russian weapons. The territory of Ukraine is not targeted evenly with air defense systems and mobile fire units, Kryzanivska said. There is no protocol in place for what to do when there is a Shahed drone approaching a train. What can the crew do? Should they stop the train or continue moving? At least 11 people were killed and dozens wounded in strikes across Ukraine overnight on Tuesday, which involved 165 Russian-launched drones, including the ones that hit the train in the Kharkiv region, according to Ukraine's Air Force. So it still remains to be seen. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to 100% learn if the train was attacked via using the Starlink system, but there's certainly things that you can take out of this story that tells us a lot about what's going on and the mindset of the people involved. One is, of course, the fact that Russia, a member of, once again, a peace board created by Donald Trump, is actively waging war against Ukraine, actively targeting civilians, causing as much damage and suffering to people as possible. And the fact that this has been so underreported also tells me a lot about state of affairs and how things are being treated when it comes to this topic and when it comes to not trying to get on the bad side of things. And there's also the topic of Starlink. There's also the topic of SpaceX not being able to stop the Russian forces from utilizing their systems for offensive maneuvers, which has been a thing even before this. We already know, it has been confirmed that the Russian military has been using Starlinks. And so far, Elon Musk has not been able to completely stop it. I'm not even sure if he has been successful in even partially stopping it, which is why, again, there's been a new spat between the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs and Elon Musk on this subject. It's very, very disappointing how much support Russia is getting in this war. It is very disappointing that peace is becoming a joke word. It is very saddening that farcical peace boards are being created in order to facilitate good relations with the countries, even if they're war criminals.